You are listening to the Fairways and Fundraising Podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning, discussing charity fundraising and successful golf outings, along with tips and tricks of the trade. Now here's your host, Larry Battaglia.
Hello, and welcome to Fairways and Fundraising, powered by Golf Event Planning. This is episode number 10, and today we are talking New York Tech, golf outing, and athletic program with our studio guest, the Deputy Director of Athletics from New York Tech, Danny Hagenlocher. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing great, Larry. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this since you mentioned it to me a couple months ago, so I'm happy to be here.
No, that's great, and I'm happy to share with our listeners a little bit about what New York Tech is all about and the golf outing. We've been working with New York Tech now for about six or 7 years, I'd say. You know, I've seen a lot of changes through the ranks, and, you know, you being at university now for a few years. How long you been there?
A little over 2 years now. January 8th was my 2-year anniversary. So.
Oh, yeah, that's great. So a little bit of background about you before we get into New York Tech athletics and the golf outing. You came from St. John's previously, right?
Yeah, I actually started my career. First job in athletics was an intern at what was then CW Post, who was our pretty big rival in the ECC until they went D1, and they're now LIU Brooklyn. But worked there for about 2 years, part-time. I interned. And then I worked part-time with the New York Jets doing game day operations, which was
cool.
It was a phenomenal experience. Then I got my first full-time opportunity at Pace University, working in the athletic facilities department. Did that for about a year and a half, and then I went over to St. John's. I worked athletic facilities there. Did that for about 3 years, and I was able to work my way up to become the director of, or the assistant athletic director for events and operations, facilities and operations, actually. So I worked there for about 3 years, where I was able to work my way up to the assistant athletic director for events and programming. And that was phenomenal. I was able to kind of lead my own department for the school that I grew up rooting for. I was a huge St. John's basketball fan. I still am.
Yeah.
Grew up in Queens, loved it. And all of a sudden I'm walking out of my office and Carnesecca Arena is my office. It was phenomenal. Really phenomenal.
A lot of history in that building.
Yeah, it was great. Then I, quote unquote, got my big break. I want to be an athletic director one day. I actually, when I was an intern at CW Post, I put an attainable goal for myself growing up in Queens. I said, I'm going to be the athletic director for St. John's one day. Then I was an assistant athletic director there before the age of 30. So, you know, it didn't work out where there was upward growth at that moment, so I decided I need to look onward, and I didn't want to sit in that chair for another 5 years, you know, being content. I wasn't content anymore. I wanted to move up, and I kind of hit my ceiling. So I was lucky enough. Dan Velez gave me a call, answered my email, lucky enough, and he gave me the opportunity to help him run New York Tech athletics, and it's been a phenomenal 2 years for me.
Dan Velez, the athletic director of New York Tech, right?
Yep. Yeah. So Dan was in my position. Dwayne Bailey was the old athletic director. He moved on. Dan moved up, and he needed a sidekick to help steer this ship in the right direction. And I was lucky enough that he selected me, and the rest is history for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely in good hands now. I mean, I can just see what you've done the last couple of years at New York Tech. You know, why don't we share with our listeners what a day in the life of the Deputy Director of Athletics would be like?
So every day is different, which I absolutely love.
I love that too.
You just never know. You really never know. We have 14 athletic programs, and that's
a lot.
It is a lot, and you know, it's almost a gift and a curse for me, my kind of personality and my work ethic, because you know, any coach at any moment, something goes wrong or something's good, but something goes wrong, they say, how the hell are we going to fix this? So, well, give Danny a call. He'll fix it. And hopefully I've proved myself to this point where I'm a bridge to a solution. You know, if anybody, any student athlete, any coach, any administrator calls me with a problem, I'm going to find a way to fix it and to make that outcome, a better one, or put them in a better situation where they started. So I'm the guy that kind of keeps the place from burning down, if you will. And so far, so good.
And you're also now the 2020 golf chair of the New York Tech Athletics golf outing. Those are big shoes to fill, that's for sure, because that is a big fundraiser. That's one that you're trying to do a few new things for the event to make it exciting. We're also going to do some more of a skills competition, if you will, with the new trophy that we're going to be passing around. So for the golf outing, a lot of responsibility and revamping the committee. So let's take our direction towards the golf outing now.
Yeah, and you've been phenomenal to work with. I think this is my third golf outing, and your company and golf event planning has been great and top notch. So I appreciate that. And yeah, now this is my first in the chair of the golf outing, and we're looking to revamp this thing. It's unfortunately, you have to say it's gone a little stale, and we're looking to
fresh ideas. Sometimes are always good for events.
Yeah, liven it up a little bit and bring the alumni back, the bold alumni, the Bears of the last decade. Possibly get a DJ, so it's more of a party feeling. I've been at golf outings, and you want them to be fun. You want to say, you want to leave that place, and you said there was a comedian at one of the golf outings that you worked or you put on, and the comedian made people laugh, he made people cry, and there was another one, but when people left that event, they said, I'm coming back to that.
Yeah, if you can move them in different ways, I mean, it's definitely a successful event in my opinion.
Yeah, and we're looking to bring vendors, local businesses, local restaurants to the course, where it's not just the generic hot dog and hamburger at the turn. It's all of a sudden, you're getting guacamole at hole 4, and then there's a vodka sponsor at hole 7, and all of a sudden hole 18 there's whatever quesadillas.
Yeah, and we got verbal commitment from Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza, so that's going to be exciting. Again, golf is secondary. It's about a day of camaraderie, a day with the alumni, a day for New York Tech to feel great about everything that is going on with the programs, and to just continue to raise money for the university.
And that's the most important. The important part is this is one of our biggest fundraisers, or it is our biggest fundraiser within the department, and we're doing this for the student athletes. We're doing it for the coaches to help their programs, but it all funnels back to the student athletes. So every dollar that we raise goes directly back to the student athletes, and really just spearheading this thing and taking our department to the next level, because when it's all said and done, we're not here without our student athletes. And they're everything I do in my day and in my year is for them.
That's great. It's great for the donors to know. They always like to know where their money's going and what they're supporting. I think that's very important and great point. So with the golf outing, you also do a pre-event raffle. We give away 2 trips at the event. The event is June 8th at the Woodside Club in Muttontown, Syosset, New York. But the 2 trips that you give away, the first winner gets their choice of either trip. Let's talk about those trips. It's $20 a ticket.
Yeah, and that's been great. We started that last year. The good thing is we're doing all this for the student athletes, but it's not a handout. So we actually give each student athlete a requirement of selling 5 raffle tickets. It's $20. It's $100 total. It shouldn't be that difficult, but we want them to have that responsibility to go out and kind of do their part. But yeah, the 2 trips this year are a 5-night stay, airfare, all-inclusive vacation. I believe it's Punta Cana, Jamaica.
All in the Caribbean.
All in the Caribbean. It's great. So you could pick that one, or
Bahamas.
Bahamas, or the Ultimate Sports Package, which is
how about that?
That's really phenomenal.
You and I would love that trip.
Absolutely. We were talking off air, and we found out that we were both shared the same passion for craziness in sports. So yeah, we the Ultimate Package would really cater to us. But it's NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, or a golf event, lower level seats, 2 tickets to any regular season game with airfare, and 2-night stay at a hotel. So, you're a Raider, Oakland or Las Vegas now, Raider fan like I am. I'm going to Vegas, and I'm picking the best team that they're playing next year, and I'm going to hit the town with my wife. So yeah, it's a great. I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket when I'm buying a bunch of raffles myself.
That sounds great, and you do not have to be in attendance at the golf outing to win. So this is a pre-event raffle. We already have the tickets. And, any information about those, you can certainly contact us. We'll have links in our show notes where you can find the information. But again, $20 a ticket. Buy a few. I mean, a chance to win these trips. We're talking about thousands of dollars it would cost you if you wanted to have access to any one of these great experiences. And we have 2 winners. So there's 2 trips. First winner gets their choice of either trip, and then the second winner gets the trip that's left over.
Yeah, and if you're listening, this is just it's another fundraising opportunity, so $20, and like Larry said, buy a few, throw your name in the hat, who knows? There were 2 winners last year. I called them both personally, and they were absolutely thrilled.
How exciting is that?
They didn't even remember. They didn't know what I was talking about. I said, no, you bought a $20 raffle ticket, and you just won a trip to the Caribbean, and they were just shocked and thrilled, and it's really great. So throw your name in the hat, help New York Tech Athletics, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you don't golf, it's a great way that you can help support the cause and also have a chance to win a great trip. And maybe you want to come for dinner on June 8th. You don't have to golf. You can come to dinner and see if you win this great trip because it'll be announced in the evening. So, definitely an exciting moment. And that's what this golf outing is going to be this year. There's going to be a lot of excitement. So we're going to do a lot of different things. Like Danny mentioned, we're currently shopping around getting a DJ for out on the golf course so that as the golfers play, there's some background music in certain areas of the golf course. Music makes people happy, gets them in a good mood. And, having the on-course vendors out there serving in between, the hamburgers and hot dogs and everything will keep everybody full and everybody satisfied.
Yeah, we're looking more of it's a party. We want people to come out and have fun. You play 18 holes, but you really just have a good time. We're really looking for that party feel. But Larry, you and I have been shopping around the idea of a comedian at the end, like we spoke about. So we want something different. We don't just want 18 holes. You come, you go, you leave, you get harassed on the course. That's another thing. I want it to be more about the golf and the party feel and the happiness rather than walking up to a hole and say, oh no, they're going to hit me for another $50, $20. We're doing our raffle stuff. We'll do the stuff at the door, but we want it to just be a feel that I want to come back next year, and I think we're going to get there. And I think we've gotten there, we've gotten closer, but, this is the turn. And this is where we go forward and we don't look back.
Yep. And we're in February now, so we have a few months here to promote all the great fun and excitement of the day, the pre-event raffle, the golf outing, and again, having a comedian at night, the dinner element. You can come to dinner. It's not just a couple drinks and some food. We're going to have some entertainment for you. So that's a great deal in itself, where you can come, have a few laughs, connect with some of the alumni, connect with some of your former friends and current friends. Just feel good about supporting New York Tech.
And make new friends.
That's right.
If I don't know you, I'll be a friend. I promise.
That's right. No doubt about it. So when we talk about the programs, obviously the last in 2019, the baseball program went really far. Brand new coach this past year, former MLB Major League Baseball star Frank Catalanato, who's also a client of ours. Great guy, great family, and we were so happy to see what he did for the program. I mean, we followed it, got into the College World Series. We followed him, and I mean, it was some journey and some ride.
Yeah, and I've been a part of athletics professionally for over 12 years, 13 years. Like we spoke about, I'm a huge sports fan, and this was one of the greatest turnarounds I've not only been a part of, but I've seen.
Yeah, it's the first time in school history.
Yeah, and we weren't very good last year or 2 years ago, and then Frank took over and inherited a roster, and 80% of his roster was the same from 2 years ago. And I think it was his first time as a collegiate coach. He did some stuff with the Italian World Baseball Classic team, and I think he with his coaching staff Jimmy Gales, Chris Rojas, Angelo Cascia, and Ray Gianelli. And Frank Battaglia, who's phenomenal.
No relation.
Yeah, no relation. It's funny. I thought there was when I first saw it. And it's really, I think they instilled a belief in the guys. And they bought in from the start. And they took that all the way to Cary, North Carolina in the College World Series. It was phenomenal. And you touched on Frank as a person. He's a phenomenal person.
Yeah, he really is. And he has an unbelievable work ethic. As you know, he wrote the book Heart and Hustle, and I'm sure that transcends into the coaching style that he works with these young men. And I'm sure they see it, they respect him, and obviously the message is getting across.
Yeah, so they're actually picked 10th preseason in the country.
Wow.
We're doing some.
That's major.
Yeah, it's major. Our men's lacrosse team was just selected to be 20th in the country. Our women's lacrosse team was picked second in the conference. Our women's soccer team made the postseason for the first time in school's history, program's history, 25 years. It's been great. We're doing some really, really good things. Our women's basketball team made the NCAA tournament last year. That was a great trip. We're looking to go again.
So it's a great time to be, paying attention to New York Tech's athletic programs and all these student athletes.
It's the first time ever. You walk into our court, recreation hall. You walk in and we had a rubber Mondo court that our volleyball program was playing, our men's and women's basketball program. Now, with our rebrand also, we have a new bear head, new colors.
That's right. New branding of the school. Now New York Tech.
New York Tech from NYIT, and new logo, and we have a brand new wood court. And it's phenomenal. I am so proud that of the branding that we went through, that Dan Velez spearheaded with the colors and the logo. Dan Velez did a phenomenal, and myself, we built this new logo, and we got the court, we got the mock-up on how we were going to lay it out, and the logo was decent size, but we both looked at it and said, nope, we got to blow that thing up. And now you walk in and it is gigantic, and it's phenomenal. So we've been doing some great things. We've made some great strides, and we're just looking to continue and continue to push. And not a single day do I want to become complacent. Every day I want to become better and make this place better, and that's I think that's what we've done so far.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, just from being client now for like I said, about 6-7 years, watching the transition, seeing yourself and Dan Velez, really I've seen the changes, and it's phenomenal. I follow you guys on social media. Again, social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, NYIT Bears. You can follow all the great, exciting events and athletic programs. But, every picture I see Dan. Dan's in every picture, congratulating the athletes. Every time they're handing out a trophy, I mean, he's there in every picture, big smile on his face, shaking hands and congratulating everyone. And I think that's really where it starts and not where it ends.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's when I interviewed with Dan about 2 years ago, he just got the job, and he looked at me and he said, this is a pretty big hire for me. And I said, I know, you got to get this one right. And I think I am that person. And he's been a great mentor to me. One day I just like I said at St. John's, the buck doesn't stop here for me, and I want to become an athletic director. Now's not my time. I understand that.
Well, I think what you have is passion, and I think that's really important in anything you do in life, and it definitely transcends in your everyday, day-to-day activities.
Yeah, and he's been a phenomenal leader and mentor for me. I strive to be where he is one day, where he is, and I want to get there. So, couldn't be happier. We've talked about before. We have the same vision. I think we have the same work ethic. We have the same ideas where, unfortunately, this cell phone that I have is a gift and a curse. It's one of those things for all of us. And I might leave the office at 3:30 one day, but I'm still answering emails at 9:30. And that's, I believe, the gift and the curse, where the coaches, I have such a great relationship with them, because if they're ever in a pinch, if they're ever in a bind, and they're emailing me, thgoing to call me, they know that I'm going to answer, and they know at 10:30 at night I'm going to find the solution. And if I can't find the solution, I'm going to not going to go to sleep before I exhausted every resource. So, I mean, and Dan's the same way. You know, if I text Dan at 11:30 about something, you know, unless he's taking care of the baby at home, beautiful Connor, then he's answering and he's going to find out.
You both have newborns.
Yeah. Well,
congratulations.
Thank you. So we have I have a 2-year-old son, Super Bowl Sunday. James B is 2 years old.
Amazing.
Dan's little boy Connor is, I believe, 18 months, so somewhere along those. And I have a beautiful baby girl that was born December 23rd, Liv Isabella Hagenlocher. So she's keeping me up at night, but it's well worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah. Smile on your face, but bloodshot eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I come in, I look in the mirror, and I say, "Whoa." I didn't realize I look like that. I look like a raccoon with those eyes. But it's been phenomenal, and yeah, I'm so happy and blessed with the family.
It's awesome. God bless you both, and you and your families. But back to the coaches and relationships that you have with them. Let's talk a little bit about some of the programs. So we talked a little about the baseball, and you touched on some of the other programs advancing. So let's talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, our softball program is kicking off. They actually new coach last year, Katie Estopoulos. Yeah, really, I practiced that name.
Wow, I thought you had the hardest name.
No, I practiced that. I need to introduce her at one of our events, and I practiced for about 2 hours. So, Katie, I hope I did you proud there. They made the playoffs in her first year last year. They're kicking off. They got a great recruiting class coming in. A couple of the events we actually just kicked off and had that were very, very successful. Our first pitch dinner, which is a fundraising event for our baseball and our softball programs, and kind of kick off to the season. It was phenomenal. It's my third year doing that now. And our lacrosse luncheon was our women's lacrosse team and our men's lacrosse team fundraising event / introducing the team. And, I could really say that this was the best event for both of them since I've been here and since Dan has taken over. We're really getting decent at this thing. We're growing, and that's what I look towards this golf event. Every year is better, and I could truly say, this happened last week, I truly say that both events were phenomenal. And alumni, we're starting to see alumni come back, more alumni than we've ever seen, which is important. It's very important for me to get these young alumni back, even the old alumni. I mean, at our baseball event, we had a full table of alumni and that were playing in the 80s. And it was just phenomenal to see the stories that they were telling each other. So I think they're seeing it, and I want them to keep coming back. I want to see those alumni at this event and just really creating these stories and these memories, reliving the old days.
Well, let's knock it out of the park for the golf outing this year, June 8th, Woodside Club in Muttontown, Syosset, New York. It'll be a fun day. Again, you can sign up on the NYIT Bears website. It's nyitbears.com. Again, the rebranding is New York Tech. The website, again, nyitbears.com. That's where you can sign up for the event. So let's talk pricing, right? It's $1,500 for a foursome, $375 for an individual. But we also have a bold discounted rate, right, Dan?
Yep. So the bold stands for Bears of the Last Decade. So that'll be a discounted rate at $275 for a single golfer, $1,100 for a foursome. So it'll be on our website, the athletics website, which is nyitbears.com. But the registration link is also going to be on nyit.edu, which is the school's website. You can, and we're going to blast this thing out. It'll be on social media, the registration link. But you're going to go to alumni page. You'll go to events and you'll find it there. The bold is the one that we're going for because it's the Bears of the Last Decade. It's seeing our alumni come back. It's any alumni that has graduated within the last 10 years. We give them a little discounted rate, and we want them to transition out of the bold alumni and be an alumni of the last 11 years, but has been coming for 10 straight. So, it's a nice little incentive because, you just got graduated college and you're getting on your feet, so we don't want to hit you over the head too hard.
Sure.
We'll wait till you make the big bucks.
Yeah. So we also have some great sponsors year in, year out. I know Geico is a big sponsor of New York Tech and the golf outing, Academy Bus, companies like that. So you can't do it without the sponsors.
No, the sponsors have been phenomenal. Academy Bus, when I started, we were kind of all over the place as far as traveling and who we were going to use. And we actually I started this great relationship with Academy, and they've been phenomenal, top-notch service for all of our student athletes, and they were gracious enough to be our golf cart sponsor last year.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it made sense.
Transportation.
It was nice. Transportation. It worked out pretty well. I was actually they said we'll do it, but under one condition, you have to go out and golf with us. I said, well, don't twist my arm.
Right.
Don't twist my arm. So I embarrassed myself out there, but it was a lot of fun. So they'll be on board again. We're starting our relationship with Coca-Cola. They have the pouring rights for our campus, and we're starting kind of to have a better relationship and build that relationship with athletics. So they're looking to get involved. So no, we can't do it without the sponsors. And so far, we've had some pretty great ones.
And over the years, too, there's a gentleman that has been involved with this event. He actually created the event, and we're going to do a trophy this year in honor of him creating the event, but also making it more of a fun, trophy-driven type of event. So why don't we talk about that and Frank Palumbo? Yeah,
Frank Palumbo has been an incredible supporter of New York Tech athletics over his time. He's a soccer alum, men's soccer alum. I know he's very close to our head coach, Carlos Del Cid. They have a great relationship, and like you said, he spearheaded this event 15 years ago. And we wanted to do something. He helps out with foursomes. He serves on our committee.
He's good for like 10 foursomes.
Yeah,
easy.
I mean, he's
a couple sponsors.
He's the one behind the scenes that he doesn't look for the recognition. He's not doing this, for the flash, the glitz, and the glamour and the fame. He's doing it because he's a proud supporter of New York Tech athletics and a proud alum. And we wanted to do something to kind of give him that recognition. And I think this new trophy that we're creating, and we're going to name it after Frank Palumbo. This is actually the first time publicly we're saying this. I think that it's a little thank you for all of the hard work that he's done and the support. So this trophy we will have at each golf outing. We're gonna put it up in our athletic suite when hopefully we create this lobby and build a lobby of all our championship trophies. It'll be there, scramble format. So bring your ringers out, get your name on that trophy. I won't, unfortunately, be one of those ringers with my name on the trophy. I wish I was. Maybe in 25 years when I'm doing this, I'll get a little better. But it's going to be great. And again, we wanted to name the trophy after Frank to just give him that recognition that he truly is not looking for. But we felt that it was time.
Yeah, the right thing to do. Yeah, and created the event. It all makes sense. And now with the rebranding, new mascot, right? Are you calling this award something to do with the mascot?
We're still kicking that around. We haven't. We want to kind of get the trophy in hand. Maybe that gives us a little more of a sense of this should be the name. But Frank's name is it's going to be named after Frank, and then we'll kind of go from there. Might even just be the Frank Palumbo Trophy, but who knows?
It sounds great, and I'm sure that you'll have a couple of serious teams coming in to try to win that trophy year in, year out. Great way to kind of keep the serious golfers interested when you're serving them vodka at the third hole, beer on the sixth hole. It's going to be a challenge to shoot a good score. So, the Woodside Club too, they do a great job over there, and it's a challenging golf course. We're talking about a lot of dog legs. You got to really hit it in the fairway. Some holes, it's hard. You either have to go over the trees or try to, get a long iron in your hand and find the fairway. But even around the greens, it can be challenging. So, it's a tough test of golf for any of these foursomes trying to win that trophy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful course too. It was my first time playing last year. They said I went out with Academy. It's sad to say, but I was using the good old foot and hand wedge a few times to just get out behind get behind one of those trees and out of that rough. But it's a beautiful course, and I'm excited to get back out. I'm used to playing. I grew up in Queens. Now I'm in Brooklyn. I'm used to playing those public Queens and Brooklyn courses, and this was a huge breath of fresh air for me. So it's I'm looking forward to it. And whoever does come out and golf, if you haven't been there before, it's a beautiful, phenomenal course. So you'll have a blast.
For a private club experience that you're putting on, and with all the vendors and doing a DJ, comedian, you're going to have some cool swag, I think, from Under Armour there. For $1,500 for a foursome, that's pretty affordable these days. I mean, private club golf outings are ranging from $1,800 to $2,500 easily. So it's an affordable outing. It's going to be a great experience. We're going to have a lot going on, so you're really going to get your money's worth. We encourage you to come out on June 8th and support New York Tech Athletics at the Woodside Club in Muttontown, Syosset, New York. Danny, anything else coming up through the year? You have a Hall of Fame dinner, too, I think, later in the year. Is that right?
Well, we actually transitioned that into October. So we moved the Hall of Fame dinner to coincide with homecoming.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So it's, you get everyone back on campus and, the alum are back. So we're looking to really strategically place these events around. In the past, we've coupled the Hall of Fame with the golf outing.
Correct.
But now the golf outing is its own separate entity. So it's really just focusing more on the golf and more on that event where, sometimes it's a little different. Well, I'm not a golfer, but I'm a Hall of Fame member, and they kind of got lost in the two. Now both are their standalone events, and they're able to kind of have each day shine for that particular event.
That does remind me, Frank Catalanato being on the committee, we spoke just the other day. He was able to get the meatball place coming in to serve, I believe they serve sliders out there on the golf course, and hint water. So we're going to have, right off the bat, between Anthony's meatball place, hint water, and a few other things that we're talking about, we're going to have quite a bit going on the golf course. So it's definitely going to be a fun, exciting day.
Absolutely, and that was a big part too. You mentioned that this is my first year as the chair of the committee. We revamped our committee. We have Frank Catalanato, we have Katie Astopoulos, two coaches in our department, and then our senior staff. Those new vibrant ideas where everyone is new. And I know Frank, he runs his own golf outing. He's now going into his 10th year.
Frank Catalanato
running his own golf outing for his foundation that helps fight vascular birthmarks, and he's been able to bring a wealth of knowledge, just doing this for 9 years and 10 years on his own foundation. So it's been great. I think the committee members are excited. They're eager. Sometimes it gets a little stale. And we just wanted to kind of get new, fresh faces, and I think it's really, we've been all hitting the ground running to this point.
Yeah, and speaking of new ideas, is that pre-event raffle again for the 2 trips. 2 winners are going to win a trip of a lifetime. First winner gets their choice of either trip, the all-inclusive Caribbean vacation, which I think you get to choose from 3 or 4 different resorts, and then the ultimate fans package, which is any Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA, golf, non-related to the All-Star games or playoff games. It's just regular season games. But again, lower level seats. We're talking $20 a ticket for a chance to win these trips that are worth thousands of dollars.
You have an airfare included on both trips, 2-night stay for the Ultimate Sports Package, 5 nights for the all-inclusive with the airfare. So, somebody's got to win. It's just something different. It's something that's relatively easy. It's all right. What's $20? It's one single bill, but it adds up. And like I said, it's all about the student athletes, and every dollar that we are able to raise through this event goes directly back to them. It's funny. At our first pitch dinner, we were able to hand out College World Series rings to every single one of our student athletes, and the ring is just phenomenal. It's gigantic. The kids walked in, they saw these rings, and they were just floored. It has their name on it. It has the year. It has the big bear head. And really, that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for these fundraising efforts.
That's right.
These kids have this ring for the rest of their lives. They should have seen, it's like Christmas morning they walked in. And, and it all goes back to these events. And that's some of the things that these fundraised dollars go towards.
That's why you're doing it.
I mean, that's why we do it. That's why I do it every single day. And hopefully, not hopefully, they do appreciate it. You see the smiles on their face. You see, the work that you put in, you see the gratification from our coaching staff, from our student athletes. And, and that's why it's all worth it.
That's the theme now at New York Tech. It's the passion. It's seeing where your money's going. It's going right to the programs. There is growth right now, and we're riding a high, and we're just going to continue to ride that high. Again, golf outing is June 8th at the Woodside Club in Muttontown, Syosset, New York. You can get involved by golfing, taking a sponsorship, coming to dinner, or even purchasing a pre-event raffle. Whether you're coming or unable to attend, you can support in so many ways. We'll have the links to their website in the show notes here. But again, the website is nyitbears.com, and the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages are NYIT Bears. Again, Danny, thanks so much for coming out today and sharing a little bit of your story and what's going on with New York Tech.
Thanks, Larry. I really appreciate it. My first podcast, so I actually love it.
Awesome.
You know, this is fantastic. So hopefully you have me back. And like I said, I appreciate the work that you've done in helping us and collaborating with us for our golf outing. You've been nothing but top notch, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks. We always, strive to do what we can as a team. I think that's, really what we've been talking about here on both ends. It's teamwork. So thanks very much, man. Kind words, and ciao for now.
And go Bears.
Thank you for listening to the Fairways and Fundraising Podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review.